What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to DevilsDigest TV. I'm Adam Beadle, and joining me here today is four-star Basha offensive lineman and Arizona State commit Jake Hildebrand. Jake, first of all, congrats on your commitment. What's this whole process just kind of been like for you to get to this point?
Yeah, I mean, this process has been really great, meeting all these different coaches, being in a different place that most kids around me really haven't been able to be in is really great, but it was just great to finally find my home back home in Tempe.
And I mean, let's kind of talk about your commitment to Arizona State. What was really the big factor into you staying home?
Yeah, I mean, I've known the coaches since I was a freshman. They offered me when I was actually in eighth grade. So the relationship has been built for many years. There's that. There's, the family part. Coach Saga Tuatelli, he's a really great guy. His son goes to Basha as well. And also having Max being able to go into the NFL, be on the Steelers, shows that Saga knows what he's doing, and that I can get up to that next level as well.
Let's talk about that for a second. How cool was it for you to see a guy like Max, who played very little football before he got to ASU, be able to be developed and go play in the NFL?
Yeah, it was really cool. Starting off in a junior college in California, and then with Saga's eyes, is like I like to say, was able to see that talent, and coach him up for the 3-ish years, and then finally being able to be a first-round pick, only playing football for 4 years, is really crazy.
You obviously been recruited by ASU since your freshman year and since the first year that staff was there. What's it been like to watch Arizona State go from where they started in the Pac-12 to winning the Big 12 championship and now where they're headed?
Yeah, I mean, it's been crazy. It shows that Coach Dillingham, and all of his staff really know what they're doing. He's able to, show that they have building steps that they've been able to do, going from like 2-9 season all the way into, like you're saying, a championship, and then almost beating Texas, is unheard of from Arizona State football. I bought into the program. I see inside of his vision, and I just want to be part of it and keep building ASU football.
In your conversations with Kenny and with Saga and the rest of that staff, what have they told you about the way you'll fit into their system?
Yeah, I mean, they said that, I'd be a really, really good fit, that, I get in there, I'm definitely going to have to be developed, all of us do, that's why we still have coaches in NFL, But, I see the vision that they're doing there at ASU, what Saga's doing. What Coach Dillingham's doing as well. So,
how much does just the city of Tempe and the environment of Arizona State, how much did that sort of play into your decision as well?
Yeah, I mean, that definitely did. My grandpa, he's 89 years old, so he actually went to ASU. He's always wanted to watch me play, so it was really cool that he got to see me play. In youth ball, we had a state championship there, and even high school. Now he's seen me play twice. Now and then he's going to see me be able to play in college with the college, community basically, and actually see me, be a Arizona State Sun Devil.
What's your favorite part, or what are you looking forward to the most just about getting there and being on campus?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just excited to be there. I'll probably be, in the honors business school. I'm trying to be in that, one of the top business schools in the country. So just excited to be there. Also having Mikey Barth come with me as well. So I have a teammate there that I know. Zeth, we played youth ball together. So some Arizona talent, staying here. So just really excited.
How much did Mikey try to convince you after he committed to make the decision and just go in?
It definitely, he did a little bit. Me and Mikey have been a little tight, for a few years now. Just him being one of the best kickers in this country and me being one of the best offensive tackles in the country. We both know that we want to go up to the next level. So, that definitely brings us to a bond.
How much has this coaching staff here at Basha just been a huge crutch for you as well throughout the years and your development?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Kelly, he's been doing it for over 30 years, so started at Corona, then went over to Mountain Point, and then now at Basha. He's definitely shown like he knows what he's doing throughout the years. He's put many kids into college and then into the NFL as well. Coach Mack, he's hard on us at times, but he's there in play. He's a team coach, if that makes sense. So he loves being with us. He loves talking with us, stuff like that. Normally some head coaches just like to be, oh, I'm the top of the top, but he likes to be down with us. He loves talking with us, like we're in the halls and stuff like that. And then also Coach Babcock as well, another offensive line coach. I've known him since I was 12. And then he coached me over at Vital as well. So I've known him since I was 12. I don't look at him just as a coach, but also he can be like a brother to me. We've had him over for dinner and stuff like that, game nights and stuff like that. So, he's definitely part of the family.
What excites you the most about playing in the Big 12? I know you've had some teammates that have come through Basha that will also be playing in the Big 12. What excites you about that?
Yeah, a lot of it does. One of my best friends, Tony Tahi, just committed to Kansas State, so it'll be kind of cool. Hopefully beat them whenever we play them, so that'll be pretty cool. And then Gio Richardson playing at U of A. Being able to play against him, I know he's offense, but still playing against some of these top teams, and Texas Tech, that would be really cool to play. And then even this year, how ASU is playing in London against Kansas, that would be really cool. If that goes well, then the years coming, then I could play like internationally like that. That would be pretty cool.
Is there anything in particular that made Arizona State stand out more than the other schools, other than it being so close to home?
Yeah. One thing was definitely the hometown hero kind of thing. Pat Tillman was a big idol for me. Being able to play at ASU and then also playing, for the Cardinals and then going into service country as well. I will say, I love my country and stuff like that. I also love, a very community stuff as well. So, I want to also give back to my community. That's also helped me, become like what I am today, being one of the top recruits in the country. I want to definitely give that back, and I feel like this is the best way.
Last thing for you got selected again to play in the 2027 Navy All-American Bowl. What does that mean to you to be able to be one of really the few players in the history of the game to be able to play in back-to-back years?
Yeah, that's really a blessing as well. I'm really glad for that. I love Texas, but, figure Arizona's home. But, it's really great to play against all these different kids from all over the country. Some of the kids even last year were international. They came from Germany, England, all sorts of stuff. And playing against, kids from around the world, getting to know different kids that, share the same aspects of life that I do, being top recruits and stuff like that, and showing that, hey, these are the kids in the future that are going to, really rock the sport. And it's really cool, too, because I'll have Landon Wade also there as well, so another Basha kid. Mm-hmm. So that'll be really cool.
If you had one message to say to Sun Devil Nation, what would you tell them?
Hey, honestly, you know what? Hey, staying home, is definitely a blessing. I want more kids from Arizona to stay home and become Sun Devils.